So it is 1983. I'm almost 13 years old. And I show up to school one day and I see my friend Danny there. And he's more excited than I've ever seen him in my entire life. And he comes up to me and goes, "You are not going to believe this. My cousin gave me this phone number and we can call it and we can hear people doing it." And I'm like, "We can hear people doing what?" And he says, "You know, like bang, like have sex, like it." And I was like, oh, okay. So being 12 is, it's a weird age because there's different versions of being 12. There's the version of 12 where you may be maturing a little older than your friends and you're very interested in sex and hearing people have sex on the phone. And then there's the version of 12 where you're really into the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark and you idolize Indiana Jones and you just want to go home and play with the bow whip that you got for Christmas in their backyard. And I was very much the latter version of being 12. So when Danny said to me, "Yeah, I'll bring the number over to your house after school today and we can call it," I was very dubious. So the rumor of this number started getting out in my class to all the sixth grade boys. And you got to remember, this is the 80s, so people didn't really think that this might exist because it's a world without the internet. There's no porn. If you want to see a naked girl, you have to like steal your older brother's Playboy or something like that. So many people didn't really believe that this number was something. It was like something out of the future. So we're arguing about it over at lunch. And Danny takes the number and he slaps it down on the table. He says, "This is the number right here." And I notice that it's a 900 number. And I say, "Yeah, but doesn't it cost money to dial a 900 number? And he says, "No. Like, 900 numbers are like 800 numbers. They're toll free." And I'm like, "I don't think you're right." And he says, "No, I'm definitely right. My cousin has already called it a bunch of times." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't think that's right." And he says, "Well, we'll bring it to your house. We'll call it. If they ask for credit card, just don't give it to them. We'll just hang up." And I'm like, "I don't think it works this way," but it's too late. So that's how a group of like 10 sixth grade boys ended up over at my house in the afternoon. And so it's my house, so I have to call the number first. And I call the number, and not only do they not ask for credit card information, they dive right into it. And at first I think that I've dialed the wrong number because I'm pretty sure I'm hearing somebody being murdered. And it's just screaming and moaning, and I don't know what I'm listening to. And then after about a minute, it just cuts off, and I'm shell-shocked. And all these kids see the look on my face, and now everybody very much wants to hear what I heard. So they take turns, like calling one by one, and then they all call it again. And everybody's going crazy because they're 12, almost 13, and they're like screaming and laughing and like punching each other for some reason. It's just like total chaos. And so then everybody ends up, and everybody copies the number down, and they all go home, and they start calling the number from their house. And I'm really confused about what I've heard, so I don't call the number again. But the next day I show up at school, and I feel like I'm like part of like a crime syndicate or something. Like we pulled off this perfect bank heist and nobody knows that what we've done. And it feels amazing. And it feels that way for like 2 weeks until the first phone bill shows up at one of my friend's house. And this kid comes in, he's like, "You guys, like 900 numbers are not free. It was $5.99 every time we called that number." And I've looked it up, that's like $20 in today's money. So I just go white because I know I'm going to die. Because my father works a back-breaking job at the fish pier in Boston where he literally unloads tons of fish off of boats every day. And he's acutely aware of the value of a dollar, and he does not part with his money easily. So I know that even though he loves me, out of principle, he will have to kill me for this. So I just wait. I'm just waiting in dread for the day to come for the phone bill to arrive. And then it happens. I'm up in my room, and my father's going through the bills, and I just hear him go, "Matthew, get down here." And so now I know I'm dead because he's called me Matthew. So I walk in, and he's holding the phone bill, and he looks at me, he says, "Is there something that you're going to tell me?" And I'm thinking, like, maybe I'll tell him one of the many lies I've come up with over the past few days about this, or maybe I'll just like run for my life and I'll just sprint out the back door and I'll never come back. But before I do that, he rubs his head and he says, "Matt, I'm just tired. Just please tell me the truth here." And so I do. I tell him the whole story. And when it ends, he's like eerily calm. And he says, "Go get your whip." And I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna beat me to death with this whip. And I bring it out, and he takes it, and he throws it on the table. He says, "You'll get this back when you repay the debt." And again, I'm amazed at how like rational he's being. And he just says, "Look," he says, "I'm not happy about what you did, And he says, but I know as you get older, you're going to make mistakes. Like, I expect you to do stupid things. And he's like, but I'm glad you told me the truth. Like, when push comes to shove, telling the truth is the right thing to do. And that just stuck with me as I grew up. You know, every time I screwed up, and I screwed up quite a bit, but I knew if I was truthful that he would do his best to understand and he'd do his best to be there for me. So now I have a 12-year-old daughter, and she's growing up in a world where anything that you can think of is literally at your fingertips, anything you can imagine. And I don't want to betray her confidence, but she's curious about a lot of things. And so it's a really scary time to be a parent, because I know the things that she can be exposed to. But I like to believe that the lessons I learned from my father, and I've created this space that I know that I've created a space for her that she knows that if she is exposed to something or if she does something stupid, she can come to me and be truthful, and I'll do my best to understand and to be there for her.
Keep it going for Matty, everyone.
Yes.